Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Joy, oi, if you will.
So you're being nice and letting me go first because
Yeah.
he's excited, kids.
I'm excited about the
because
show.
The whole episode is about Bob.
It's about me, finally. I don't think I've gotten to talk that much in this whole entire show.
Wow.
Series. Feeling a little left out.
This is one of those
Enough
moments.
about me.
Yeah. it's not even a full eye roll at this point. It's just a looking off to the distance.
It's a soul roll.
Yes. Can we
It's
make
your
soul
entire
rolls?
soul
Can we make soul
rolls.
rolls a thing?
Yes.
It's kind of a tongue twister, but listen, I'm into it.
Let your soul roll.
Let your
That's a Coming to America
soul
reference
roll.
if y'all don't know. And you're too young.
Youth would do it.
I mean,
But I feel
anybody 30ish.
I feel that our listeners would have, a depth to them that they would know some of these references.
I like that she thinks a lot of you guys. It's
I
really
do.
appreciative.
I mean, come on.
She keeps the hope alive in these dark and dreary Bob nights.
Someone has got to. That's all I'm
Someone's
saying.
got to, because someone gets paid money from the government to keep me sane. Don't you wish that was a job?
That would be amazing. Not for that person. They would need a lot
No,
of therapy.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it would take a lot. It would take a team.
Some have tried before, and
It takes
some
a
have
village.
just left.
Okay. But neither here nor there.
So what is the show about again?
Oh, God. It's a show all about Bob. We're going to get to know you just a little bit better and how that little thinker inside your head works.
So, okay. So we're going to explain to the young folk at home what we're doing.
Yeah. I've got some lovely profile questions
Ooh,
here.
questions.
And I probably got some surprise questions down the road.
She is going to give me surprises. I know it. I know it.
And we'll just see what kind of answers you have so we can get a better understanding of the man behind the mask.
Because maybe people don't know us, right?
That's true.
We have people listening in Hong Kong and Singapore and other places in the world.
Shout out
to everywhere.
Everywhere. We get excited. This is the thing.
Except for Canada. Fuck you, Canada.
Wow. Okay.
Why is Canada forsaking us?
Well, maybe they just feel like we're not exotic enough because we're
South
right
America
next door.
likes us. Europe, Asia, South Asia,
Do
Africa?
we have? Yeah. Listen,
Australia, New Zealand.
we're not in Antarctica yet.
No, but there could be somebody listening.
They've got stations down there. But no, what I was going to say is we genuinely get excited every time we see a new
Absolutely.
country pop on the map.
Oh,
We're
yes.
like, holy shit, how did they find us? That's amazing. We love it.
We're not going to mention that all the states haven't listened to us. Just New Hampshire and Vermont. But
There's no bitterness, as you can tell.
we did finally get one of the directional states. We have North Carolina now.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have North Carolina, South Carolina, or North Dakota, or South Dakota.
Well, listen, I feel that the
North
Dakotas
Carolina,
are
thank you.
further in the distance for us.
Yeah, the Dakotas.
What about West Virginia?
No.
You're like,
West Virginia is actually
negative.
the whole and that whole area, like from Iowa to the East Coast, north and south, except for Alabama, and then there's West Virginia,
It's
just
they're
this
like,
gaping hole of a cesspool.
they're like, we are not going.
Yeah, but there's some of the other 13 colonies that aren't on board in the tinier states. But
Okay. Well, listen.
I was looking at a map the other day, a scratch-off map, to like show where you've been.
Awesome.
We should put in the studio here.
We were talking about that. We were talking about doing that, or like something where you could like put pins.
Yeah, not
every
pens.
time.
It's in a rented apartment. But
I mean, it wouldn't have to be into the wall, ding dong. We could sit it out some.
can we just throw knives? Just throw knives.
Okay.
So,
I feel
needless
like
to
somebody's on the
say,
wall.
Canada as a whole, why? Why?
Canada, please love us.
So I'm hoping that this episode is a bridge to Canada. Because
Ooh, that would
you're
be nice.
only like 5 hours away from where we're currently sitting, right?
That's true.
I mean, well, 6.
Probably longer. Yeah, 76 or
Well,
7.
6 to Detroit. Detroit crosses to Canada. That kind of thing, right?
6 if you're driving fast. Yeah, sure.
You have to
I've
jump an
done that
hour.
drive, you
There's
know.
math, there's science. There's time science. So we are in a romantic Italian cafe.
Oh, okay. We're
Bottle of Chianti.
Uh-huh.
One of those empty bottles of wine with a candle in it, melting, dripping down. You're getting it.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting
The
it.
food's already been eaten
Yeah, absolutely.
because the awkward silence when you're on a date kind of thing. So you've had some Chianti. You're loose now.
Uh-huh.
Your words are loose.
Yeah,
You have questions for your date.
I do.
Your blonde, blue-eyed, youthful-looking date.
Who's so straight.
Uh-huh.
Let's go with that. It's already a dream.
I'm a person of queerness, Joy, and I need you to recognize my POQ. Anyway.
I will always recognize your POQ.
Thank you.
And I will honor you. All right. So let us, if we could,
Her face.
start in the beginning.
It just reads scariness.
Don't be scared.
Okay.
Don't be scared. There's nothing to fear here except the truth about Bob. So, what were you like as a kid?
Well, just talking about that earlier.
We were.
Because I was an asshole of a child.
Shock.
People will tell you I was very much the way I am now, that's how I was as a kid. Constantly telling people you're wrong, correcting people at any time, being a smartass, cussing people.
So a little terror.
Smoking. Yeah, I mean, I was a pretty bad kid. I mean, I was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those kids it was like, if there was a sign on my cage, it would be like, don't shake the cage or something. Don't make loud noises.
I was going to say, like, beware of Bob.
Yeah, I was very kept to myself, but when people got into my path, it was me.
Devastation.
Yeah.
I got you. I feel like I had another question. Oh, when you said the smoking, how old were you when you had your first cigarette?
6. But
That wasn't like you snuck somebody else's?
I snuck a cigarette because I won a cigarette. You say won. And I talk to myself and different people too. So back in my day, you could still get lighters out of gumball machines. So like you get those little tiny lighters. So I got one, and then my family members were like, older cousin and aunt and uncle who aren't that much older than me, white trash family, I know, calm down. They were like, well, now you have a cigarette lighter, you gotta smoke a cigarette. So I went and I took a cigarette from my many family members who smoke cigarettes and leave them lying around the house. And
Okay.
puffed.
Wow. Okay. Now, also at this time, thinking back, when you were a little terror, horrible child, can you remember your first best friend, and can you tell us about them?
Ooh. Well, I mean, are we talking best friends family, best friends out of family? Do you have to say those things?
We don't have to say those things because, as we've discussed, family's not always friends, so that's like a bonus. So
Yeah.
it
So
could be either or.
So family-wise, my cousin Shannon, who is 6 months and 6 days younger than me, he was like my best friend when I was a kid. So we were like, our mothers were sisters, and we did like a lot of things together. And at the time, we were similarly shaped people. So, we had the same chili bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I had a Kiss t-shirt. He had a Kiss t-shirt. I got this picture taken at Kmart. He got that same picture taken. So we had a lot of similarities in our lives, and we're still friends and still close. But like growing up until we moved back to Illinois, we were like brothers. So
Nice.
yeah. And then on my cousin Emily, who's also the same age as me. But on my other family, she was also my best friend, which we went to school together and did bad things together at school. So
And there's the tying bind, if you
Yeah.
will. Okay. All right. I'm going to switch it up a little bit because I'm just going to go all over the place.
Go all
You can't
over.
make me stay in one spot.
I'm
all
not
right?
trying to make you do anything.
I didn't say you
You're-
were. Just letting people know.
Okay.
So, because you don't laugh a lot,
That's true.
what kind of things actually make you laugh?
So recently, I actually had that real, like, I can't imitate it because it only happens every once in a while. So I had that laugh that's like the loudest laugh possible.
Yeah.
The deepest laugh. And it was because somebody I just recently met, won't say where, when, why, and how, but they had asked me if somebody was talking to them because they wanted to fuck them. And in the situation that I was in, it was probably inappropriate for them to ask me that. It wasn't appropriate enough for this. And the situation being that the person, this being a female, saying it. Of course, we've talked about how I love vulgar females. Saying that was asking about a gay man.
Okay.
So the trifecta was there.
It was
like the
all,
inappropriate situation, the woman cussing, and the outlandishness
of the question.
of the question. And I still don't know if it was a question, a real question, or a question to make me laugh.
Right.
But I literally laughed as hard as I could and as loud as I could in an open room that people were like, had never heard me laugh before. So it was weird. Okay. Those types of things and really horrible things that happen to people.
Okay.
You know.
I feel that you left one out, but that's
what did I
all
leave
right.
out?
The witty things that my good friend Joy says.
Oh. You guys have heard me laugh on here to Joy. Joy's funny. She occasionally makes me laugh.
Occasionally. Let's move
occasionally?
It was the way, yeah, because it was like, it's like the sting on it. Everything with you.
This
I'm
gummy
moving
bear is
on.
really sour.
So this is a good one.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have a nickname, but you have a special way that your name is spelled. And I don't think everybody knows. Tell us your origin story.
Ooh, the origin of Bob.
Yes.
So it's like the Joker. Okay, if you're familiar with the Joker in Batman history, the Joker has had many different origins. And if you're familiar with the Heath Ledger version of the Joker, during that movie, every time someone says something to him, he tells them another story of his past, which may or may not be the truth because he's using all the origin stories. Anyway, I have a couple. So here we go. So first of all, my name is Bob. And people would always joke, oh, is that like Bob on Dick? Ha, ha, ha. Or, Bob, you can spell that forwards and backwards. Ha, ha, ha. No, this isn't a real laugh.
Right.
That's white people stuff. That's old white man shit. So, I was listening to a Liz Phair song, and the song's called Nashville. It says, a sparkly bauble. And so I was like looking up like, oh yeah, that word, no one ever uses it. Looked it up. The British spelling obviously is B-A-U-B-B-E-L-E. So a bauble, and the bauble is a shiny, inexpensive, useless object. So I thought the next time somebody says Bob on Dick or Bob, you can spell your name forward and backwards, I was going to be like, no, actually, it's B-A-U-B. And that's what I did. I was starting a job here. I just moved to Champaign, and a guy who was training me said the B-O-B, spell it forward and backward joke, and I was like, no, it's actually blah, blah, blah. And when I was leaving the building, people were like, oh my God, your name is so cool, blah, blah, blah. So it stuck 20 years later. So here I am.
There it is.
A shiny, useless object.
I always get a kick out of it every time you explain it that way.
Yeah.
Like that's what made it stick.
It
But
used to also be beautiful and ugly Bob. B-A-U-B. So
but people really do love it. Like they are so fascinated by the way you spell
yes.
it. There's the occasional person who's like, do you pronounce that differently? Like they look at it and like, yeah they freeze.
Baub.
Baub.
My uncle actually calls he passed away last year, but it's the only other person that I've ever allowed just to call me Baub. There's people will say B-A-U-B instead of saying Bob. They'll just spell it, which I always thought was kind of. And early on, people did that. It was just like, hey, B-A-U-B. Like that's kind of a different.
It's kind of like a difference. Like,
yeah. So I've met people, famous people, sort of famous people. And I've gotten a lot of shit for my name over the years because one guy told me that, they sign lots of autographs. And somebody will come up and say, it's Tiffany, and it's spelled T-Y-F, have all these crazy things. And he said, I always tell people, why can't people be named Bob? You can't fuck up Bob.
Okay.
And so whenever I had him sign my autograph, he just literally almost dropped dead. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And told me the story of how
that's amazing.
He always says you can't fuck up Bob. And then here I come along.
But I feel like that's how the spelling comes about. And I think that's how I started saying, for a long time, I was always like B-A-U-B Bob. Mm-hmm. Because when I would explain to people about my mysterious friend, B-A-U-B Bob, you have to say Bob, and then it's like, no, not spelled the way you think. Right. Don't get excited. So.
In our circle of people back in the day in the gay clubs, there were other Bobs. There was DJ Bob, and there was other people that knew those Bobs. So I think that's where the B-A-U-B came from, was because people would be as a descriptor, because we were all fat white guys. So you couldn't say that fat white guy named Bob, because we were all fat white guys with brown hair and blue eyes named Bob. So, because that's what every Bob looks like until they get bald. Hey, Bob.
Well, thank you for giving us that extra peek.
Right.
All right. Let's get serious. Ooh. I don't know if you'll be serious.
I'll try.
Who has been the biggest influence in your life?
Oh, wow. That actually almost made me cry. I say as far as a person who I am, definitely my grandmother, which I've spoke about before, was a big influence because she is just like no bullshit kind of person. But actually, probably one of the bigger influences was my aunt who passed away when I was 15. And a lot of things that we would talk about stuff. Like recently, I just bought an album by Julian Lennon that as soon as I saw it, it was one of those things it's from the 80s. People kind of forgot about Julian Lennon having a career after his dad died. But bought the album and I was like, oh, I'll download to iTunes and listen to it too. Just immediately emotions, because I just remember talking to her about, the Beatles and things like that, and the importance that they were in her life and music in her life. And she was one of the people that told me I should not study witchcraft, but if it was something I was interested in and having more knowledge on, that I should do it without fear of what people would say. And she was like a second mother to me, and it was, I think she was a big influence on my life. It's my Aunt Cheryl.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And that's the saddest I'm gonna get.
Okay. We're gonna pick it up then.
Okay.
No more sadness. Give me your favorite 3 things about yourself.
Okay. Are we talking characteristics? Are we talking...
Yeah, we're not talking about physical traits. We're
right.
talking about actual characteristics of your personhood.
I like that I retain knowledge very well, and that I always I remember shit. That's what most people say.
Forever.
I will remember it forever.
Tiniest details.
But I also am very inquisitive about things, and I like to know how things work. I was never really a good student in school, never did well with learning things, because it was never something that I wanted to know about. But outside of school and in my life, especially when the internet happened, I was able to learn about things that I would never have known before. So, and I like to know about culture. I think that the youthfulness in me is still that I like knowledge, whether or not it comes out in an education or degree or whatever. I do feel that I'm not stupid. Yeah. I like that. So is that one?
I'll give it to you as 2.
Okay.
I'm willing to give you 2.
Okay. So, third characteristic that I like about myself. I like that no matter how, this is going to sound really narcissistic, how horrible I am to people, they still like me.
It's such a you thing to say.
But no, it's like that whole thing. I mean, if you've seen Heathers, if you've seen Jawbreaker, if you've seen any movie in the 80s, they always have that one super smart ass person who's really not nice to everybody, but everybody still wants to be their fucking friend. And that a lot of people can't get in real life, but that really is me. I mean, I can be as mean as I want to fucking be to people, and people are just like, it's Bob. You know, and I start off friendships like that. I don't start off being super nice to people, caring, holding doors, giving people its vulgarity from the get-go. And I think it's just being me all the time. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, it is
just being myself. So
can I tell you that I have a theory about that?
What's that? Is it gonna make me cry?
No, it's not gonna make you cry.
Yeah.
My theory is that as much as how I've talked about how people don't like to hear the truth about themselves,
Right.
people crave truth and honesty.
Yeah.
And so when they see that in a person, even if it seems brash or, jarring, they're like, you know what? I might want more of this.
Yeah, I mean, because someone was saying that today at work, like a newer person at work was like, I didn't say hi to you when you first came in the door because I know you don't do good mornings and there's no point in it. And like, it's the truth of it is I don't do like fakeness. Like, I know it's supposed to be a pleasantry to say good morning, to greet people and stuff like that, but I feel it's a waste of my time because I'm not going to walk in the door and say, hi, how good morning, good to see you to 20 people. When it's not the truth. I don't want to see you. I'd rather be back at home. And, I like when people can recognize that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think it's just part of me is like, skip the pleasantries, go right into being a person. And I like to draw that out of people. And I feel I do. Like the people I surround myself with, the friends that I actually really have are honest people. And I can trust every one of them. I know they're not going to steal my shit. I know they're not going to, it's real people. And so I think that's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my gravitational pull.
Okay. I get you. And I got you.
Good.
All right, then.
Just check Tinder real quick.
You feel free to go ahead and check Tinder. We've already talked about movies, so some of these are hilarious. I think I just want to hear, what do you hate most about the dating process, Bob? Just in general. Mm-hmm.
Glad you brought that up. Hey, Nick. I think the thing I hate the most about the dating process is you start over. Because dating's a little different, right? I can't be me, right? Because what am I going to attract? Some side dick in the alley? Or someone that wants me to come on their face tonight after we're done with the podcast. That's what I attract when I'm brutally honest. I don't know. It's that whole... I don't know. I don't feel like dating is real anymore. I feel like if people really wanted to date me, like people that I've dated, and I air quote that 100% into like actual dates, never really happen. But they don't listen to my podcast. I think if you want to date me, you want to listen to my podcast. You want to dick me podcast. Let's get real honest with this.
That's your opening line.
Yeah, but no, I don't know. I think that there's too many. There's no set way to date anymore, right?
Yeah.
There's no blueprint for it. There's no like go to dinner, go to a movie,
False.
Go home, don't call for 2 days, call on the third day. All that shit. Mm-hmm. That's the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Now there's like, I have 25 minutes. Do you want to fuck?
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say people inviting themselves over to your place.
Yeah, or I'll be over to your house.
First interaction.
I mean, that was earlier tonight. I've had somebody recently interested in going on a date with me, hanging out with me. And then I asked, where do you want to hang out? And he's like, not my house because I'm married. So I think there's more variables now. And people are grown when they're not grown.
Mm-hmm. Love to claim to be grown.
People have interior design degrees, but then their house is a futon with some cum rags and some water that never made it to the refrigerator.
Stop it.
I mean, like that's the thing is like people. It's because of social media. They have a different persona. Mm-hmm. They're not who they are.
Yeah.
So I feel I struggle with that because I don't want to be. I don't want to be one of those people, but I also don't want to play that game, but I also have to, kind of thing. Because you're supposed to be like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm nothing, just chilling. You know, if you say, oh, I'm writing a song, they're going to be like, okay, what's your dick look like? Like, no one cares to know the person, so.
That's true.
Which some people completely enjoy that, and they get what they want out of it, but I think that's the struggle in the dating world.
That's a bummer. I mean, you're right, but damn, now I feel depressed. Okay. Let's try something that's possibly positive then.
Okay.
Are there now this is a hard one because you've done so much and
A lot.
You've done a lot. But is there anything that's still out there that you're like, I still got to do this, or I still want to do this?
I don't know. There's still lots of things I would like to do artistically that I've been mulling around in my head lately that I feel like I need to do. I feel like I'd like to be known for something and not known for all the things, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's so much that I do. You know, art, podcast, trying to make music, did the radio show. Random people know me from random things, but I think there'd be just like one defining thing that defined me, and I don't even know what that would be, but I would like to have Bob is this.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a loved kind of thing. I don't mean like Bob is loved.
No.
Sad ending to a cartoon from the 70s. I need something, yeah. If it's just Bob is Bob, I guess I would be okay with that, but I don't know. Just something. Anything. Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to ask you one of those stranded on an island questions.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Stranded on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You can only ever listen to. I'm going to give you 4 because I'm generous. I was going to say 3.
Listen to the desert island. Okay, go ahead.
4 music artists for the rest of your life.
Rest of my life.
That's it. Just 4.
4.
Give them.
Bjork, PJ Harvey, Tori Amos. Creep Patrol. Which is my new band. No, there's got to be a 4th one, right?
There is. I was going to say there's no struggle with you until the 4th.
Can I say the struggle with the 4th is they're all tied with first.
Okay.
And I don't know why she didn't come up first, but it would be anything Courtney Love has done.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was kind of surprised the way the list was going. I'm not going to lie.
I think it's just, I'm cyclical with my music. So right now I'm back into Tori Amos, PJ Harvey, and Bjork. Those are my 3 at the moment. Courtney Love is a summary type thing for me where everybody around me, I can have the windows down and they can hear how angry I am. So when summer hits, I'm C Love all the way. But until then...
Yeah.
I'm musically influenced more by those Bjork and Tori Amos and PJ Harvey. So.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I knew you'd have an answer, but I really felt that you were going to be more torn about there only being 4 of them. So I feel somewhat disappointed. I can't deny it.
Well,
that's fine.
All 4, Courtney Love, you can make more music and join them a little bit better. But I think that's why I named the first 3. because I can listen to them all throughout their career and love everything that they've done. So, and I feel that Tori Amos, PJ Harvey, and Bjork have all made different albums so that you can have different feelings with their music. So it's not all moody, PJ Harvey, angsty. Some of it's political, some of it's, heavy on the saxophone. And Bjork, sometimes you can't even understand the words she's saying, and it's very atmospheric. And then there's, the rawness of some of her music. And Tori Amos the same way. Some of it's very piano heavy, word, lyrically driven, and then some of it's just, harmonies and melodies. So I think with those three, you get definitely a different range of music. And then Courtney Love is the angry woman inside.
Gotcha. All right, then I've just got one final question.
Do I get to write it on a board, Alex?
You get to say it in one sentence.
Oh.
Give us...
Without commas?
With no comments. Just one sentence summing up Bob and your life mission. Go.
Oh my God. That's it. Oh my God.
And remember that to be beautiful and natural is the birthright of every woman. And I wish you all loads and loads of loveliness and good luck.